Did you know YouTube has awarded over 200,000 play buttons to creators worldwide? Yet hardly anyone knows how they're actually made. Who designs them? What's the process? And why do creators obsess over these awards like they're the last slice of pizza at a party? Stick around to find out. And I'll even show you how to make your very own silver play button today, in under 24 hours with just a few simple items you probably already have lying around. So the red diamond play button. You've probably seen it in those epic YouTube milestone videos according to Wikipedia. There are currently only 12 channels in existence that have reached this level. To see how they're made, we first need to fly over to Factora, France. Ever heard of it? Probably not. It's this tiny, quiet town that for some reason is home to one of humble ingredients. Silica sand, which is a type of sand used to make glass and ceramics. Potash, an ingredient used in both fertilizers and glass, making red lead oxide. A red powder used in batteries and paints. And well, gold. Yes, actual 24-karat gold. That's what gives the crystal its deep red color. They measure out all the exact measurements, and then they toss it into a furnace that's cranked up to 1,200 degrees Celsius. That's 2,192 degrees Fahrenheit. And yes, it's as hot as it sounds. After a while, all those materials melt into the glowing, golden lava-looking liquid that you can see on screen. And honestly, it's hypnotic. I could stare at it for hours, but the workers no time for that. They have to move fast next. They grab a glowing iron, a long hollow metal rod, and dip it into the molten crystal. They'll either free-blow the crystal, shaping it by blowing air into the rod while spinning it and using tools, or they'll use a mold. For something as precise as the play button, they typically go with molds. After shaping, the crystal goes through something called annealing. Big word, but it's really just controlled cooling. They put the crystal into an oven, and over several hours, they slowly bring the temperature down. If they skip this step, the crystal would crack, and all that effort would go up in smoke. This is one of those patience is key moments. And they've got it down to a science. Once the crystal's solid, it's time to make it shine. Using diamond-tipped wheels, an artisan, which if you don't know, is a skilled worker who makes material objects, partly or entirely by hand. Cuts precise angles or facets into the crystal. Every cut is designed with one thing in mind, to catch light perfectly, making the play button sparkle like its base, which is usually made of dark glass or brass. The two pieces are fitted together like a puzzle, and they're glued with industrial strength adhesive to guarantee nothing comes loose. By now the whole thing feels somewhere between 35 and 40 pounds. Seriously, imagine trying to lift that thing over your head during a thank you speech. Yet not happening now for the grand finale. The finished play button is placed in a bright red briefcase with the YouTube logo stamped on it. Like this one, this case doesn't just protect the award, it makes it feel even more exclusive. You'd have expected to be accompanied by a couple of bodyguards, but before the play button makes its way to creators like PewDiePie or T-Series, it usually goes on display at the Musée Baccarat in Paris. This museum is packed with some of the most insane crystal creations you'll ever see. Chandeliers the size of small cars, and vases worth more than your entire house type of deal, and they're in the middle of. Make your own YouTube play button at home. If you are below the age of 18, this should be done with adult supervision, okay? First of all, you're going to need a portion of a PVC pipe. The color should be kind of grayish. It doesn't need to be long, but the length should depend on your preference. Obviously, the longer the PVC pipe portion you have, the larger the YouTube play button is going to turn out. Once you have the piece of pipe, which in this case is 13 centimeters long or 5 to 11 inches, get a ruler and a marker and mark a straight line down the pipe. This is where you will cut. To cut, make sure to use a saw or a similar cutting tool, and cut evenly down the line you just measured. Do not cut all the way through the pipe. Simply cut along the line that you marked. To make it easier, you can cut one way across, and then position the saw or cutting tool the opposite way to give it a clean cut. Please make sure to hold everything steady. Stay safe and avoid slicing yourself. That YouTube play button is not worth your finger due to the sandpaper back over it, and iron it again to make it even flatter. At this point, grab a tile or a similar, relatively heavy material, and place it on top of the flattened PVC pipe. Leave it there for about 1 minute or slightly longer to make sure the pipe cools and remains flat. I hope you're paying attention because this play button won't make itself. Next, using your ruler and marker, draw an 11 cm by 11 cm box, or 4.33 by 4.33 inches. Cut away the extra pieces from the square. Use a piece of sandpaper to smooth all the edges until they are even and polished. Now mark the box using the measurements displayed on screen. Now feel free to screenshot if need be. Grab a coin that is roughly the size of your index finger and use it to round off the corners of the box, as shown the tool used in the pen. Then attach the edge of the sandpaper to the glue. Add another layer of glue on top of the sandpaper to secure it. Then roll the sandpaper tightly around the pen, pressing it down firmly with your thumb. This creates a tool for sanding the inside edges of the piece you just cut out, ensuring it's smooth as butter. Now it's starting to take shape, isn't it? Don't throw out the leftover pieces of PVC from earlier. You'll need them. Glue those pieces to the back of the main piece, as shown in the video. Be careful to apply the glue in the right amount. Not too much, not too little, to ensure a strong bond. Mark the hole from the outside using a marker. Push it out and cut out the marked area. Sand it smooth as well. Then glue it back in place as shown. Sandpaper the front sides and edges of the main piece to ensure everything is evenly smooth. Then spray paint it silver if you're young or have breathing issues, or 0.59 by 0.59 inches on a piece of leftover PVC, and cut them out. Glue the triangles together. Sand them and spray paint them as well. Once the glue dries, attach the triangle to the mirror piece, making sure it aligns with the classic YouTube triangle. Logo design. The left side of the YouTube triangle should be horizontally flat. And boom, you now have your very own YouTube play button. If you want, you can either leave it blank or personalize it further, using a custom sticker to make it have your channel name and subscriber count. To do this, you have a couple options, but probably the simplest way is to write the text on Canva and then print it out as a sticker or label. To know what exactly to write, simply search for play buttons on Google Images. And helpful tip, the font used on official YouTube play buttons is Roboto, so there you have it. Your very own DIY YouTube play button. Mission helped you find love in 2005. Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jod Kareem launched YouTube as a video-based dating platform called TuneIn. Hook up. The idea was for lonely singles to post short clips, introducing themselves, hoping for a romantic match. Imagine Tinder, but instead of swiping, you had to endure 2 minutes of someone awkwardly talking about their love affairs, but it turns out no one wanted to share their dating profile video form when the platform flopped. The creators wisely pivoted, opening YouTube to all kinds of content. Turns out people weren't ready to overshare love life on camera, but oversharing everything else. That was an instant hit. No. 4. YouTube has secret videos you'll never see. YouTube is like a party with millions of VIP-only rooms. Right now, millions of private and unlisted videos exist on the platform, but you'll never stop on YouTube. Just remember, there's a whole hidden world you'll probably never access. No. 3. The weirdest thing you can search for on YouTube. Here's a challenge. Type YouTube into YouTube search box. Notice anything odd? That's right, it won't autocomplete. For a platform obsessed with its own branding, this feels shady, but there's a reason. YouTube intentionally disables its own name from autocomplete to prevent irrelevant or spam results from taking over. Imagine trying to search for something useful and getting bombarded with endless tutorials on how to use YouTube or those cringy top 10 YouTube stars videos. By blocking the word, they're saving you from an algorithmic nightmare. Still, it's a little dystopian, like YouTube doesn't want you to say its name 3 times in a mirror and pre-end. Now I wonder what would happen if I do. Number 2, there it gets spicy. Despite the ban, millions of people in China still find ways to access YouTube using VPNs. That's right, People are risking penalties just to watch Mr. Beast give away an island, or learn how to bake banana bread. File that under things I didn't expect to care about, but now I do. Number 1. This tiny YouTube bug cost Google millions. In 2009, YouTube suffered from a bizarre glitch, where every single video on the platform showed the same view count for clock 12. At first people thought it was a harmless error, but for advertisers who pay based on views, this was a disaster without accurate tracking. No one knew how many eyeballs their ads were actually reaching. The glitch cost Google millions and lost ad revenue, and forced them to completely overhaul their view counting system. Kind of changes the way you see YouTube ads now. But that's not 47,483,647. A programming limit tied to 32-bit systems. When size video exceeded that number, the entire platform had to be reprogrammed. So, one absurdly catchy K-pop song brought a multi-billion-dollar tech giant to its knees. By the way, hey guys, I'm Elliot, the voice actor. We've had a few questions about being human or AI, and to just be a bit more authentic, I wanted to invite you guys to explore more of my websites on the screen, and I hope you guys continue enjoying the videos. Now, excuse me while I head off to make my own play button, but before I go, let me congratulate you. You now know exactly how YouTube play buttons are made in the factory, and since you're already here, check out our previous video, it might just shock you.